Hey, what's going on, everyone? Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews. Well, take a look at this, guys. This is a Hercules 20-volt impact driver. Well, the inside, anyways. Working on, of course, cleaning up one I bought off eBay for like $35, which is pretty crazy how cheap these things really are. So anyways, I've got it soaking in a bit of a degreaser here for overnight. Gonna want to try to get this thing cleaned up as best I can. Now, there are actually 4 parts you want to clean up, which is kind of interesting. You're going to have that back plate. You're going to have a little, what is this thing, little mode selector switch there, which doesn't really have electronics in it at all. And then, of course, the back and front sides of this thing, which, hoping this will now be, actually, it took off a good amount of the junk on here, which is awesome. So I'm just going to kind of scrape off the rest of that, and we'll see how much we can get this thing cleaned up. This degreaser really broke down everything, and yeah, I'm actually using a wire brush here. I know it sounds a little tough, but I've tried cleaning up tools in the past with, you know, the plastic bristles and stuff, and it just doesn't do anything. You really got to use a metal brush here. I know what you're thinking, yeah, it might damage it a little bit on the outside, but, you know, you got to really get these things clean to get them clean. I guess is what I'm trying to say there. All right, so yeah, I've been experimenting a little bit here. I've seen all those other channels, of course, where they take, you know, really beat up tools and clean them up. I've been trying to find a way to do that with tools like this that aren't necessarily beat up. They're just covered in, you know, drywall mud and paint and whatever else could be covered in these things. This seems to be the most effective way I've found so far. So I'm using just a degreaser. I'm using the one at Sam's Club, the Members Mark degreaser from Sam's Club, soaking them overnight, taking, of course, apart all the pieces that are not electronical, soaking them overnight. And so far, this one seems to be the best option, or the best process of cleaning these tools up so far. And of course, a wire brush. So here's what they look like before. All that possibly paint or drywall mud or something on there. And here's what they look like after. A little bit of scrubbing with that metal brush on there for 2-3 minutes. I mean, this was really quick. Just a little bit of agitation. Dunk it back in that bucket of soap, and bam, there we go. Very easy to do. I'll put a link in the description, guys. You want to check out the actual stuff that I use to clean these tools up really quick. I'm actually really liking this method so far. I've just been experimenting, of course, with a bunch of different tools to try to figure out a way to really clean these things up as best that I could here. A little bit more. All right, well, there we go. I just went and rinsed them off, and then, of course, just blew them off with a blower quick. That looks phenomenal. Significant upgrade and very little effort, too, to get these clean. I started them with a wire brush, which just this little one, Farmer Freight. For, you know, about 5 minutes total. I think it came off real easily, and tool looks not brand new, but like really good shape now. So we're gonna put this thing back together. It's ironic that, you know, most impacts, here's a Metabo, they just use regular, you know, Phillips PH1 screws. Of course, the Hercules uses a sort of, it's not a full security screw, but it's going to be a Torx. What is that? I think it's a T10 Torx, a little bit in here, which is funny that they use those because they actually sell the T10 bits at Harbor Freight. So they sell their own security bits, which is hilarious. But you're actually gonna end up needing a little bit longer one, like this Bosch one, to of course get to one of the screws, which is kind of set deeper inside the impact. So get this thing put back together. So if you're taking apart any of these tools like this, I always recommend to do one side at a time. I might have made a mistake taking, of course, both sides off at the same time, but oh well, I can figure this out. That's kind of a nice little trick to use. You want to get these things off really easily. Just take off one side at a time, leave all the internals sitting in one side of the tool. So that makes it a lot simpler to put back together. There we go. I had a small problem where I had actually one wire was sticking over that screw hole in there and causing the shell not to close. So easy enough fix there. All right, the shell is now clean. Let's clean off the trigger and a little bit of the outer anvil here. Pretty easy to clean that. Bam, there we go, all cleaned up. Really not too big of a deal to clean these tools up. I mean, right now, unedited right now footage, I'm at about 21 minutes working on this tool here. So this is not bad at all. This is, of course, the top end Hercules 20 volt here. And this thing now works fantastic. It looks super clean now, too. Not perfect, of course, in physical shape, but not bad for a $35 tool. All right, so we got this thing all cleaned up. This thing is hitting a whopping 2,200 inch-pounds of maximum torque, which is pretty insane. You know, we had that 2,000 inch-pound limit here for a number of years, and we finally cracked it. And a number of impact drivers have done it now. So, of course, the latest Milwaukee M18 fuel, there is a rigid impact that's throwing out a ton of power as well, too. I think there's a Cobalt as well, too. And I think there's a new DeWalt that's actually hitting even higher. I think like 2,500 inch-pounds now. So that means the Hercules is still well up there. It's way more powerful than anything Metabo or Makita puts out. That's for sure, definitely. Now, there's a lot of argument back and forth. I see in the comments all the time, well, hey, you don't actually need that much power. You know, of course, you're going to snap off a lot of these quarter-inch bits here because that's what fits in this thing. I don't care if you throw in, you know, a quarter-inch to 3/8 or half-inch adapter in there. You're still using a quarter-inch bit inside that collet. And of course, you can still break that relatively easily, which is very true, of course. But the question remains is, how powerful really is this thing? And is this thing really worth it? So let's give this thing a try and see how well this thing performs in the hand and how much power it really throws down. All right, so I don't have anything remotely close to the price point of the Hercules. This thing's only 69 bucks, tool only, or about $97 in a kit, which is pretty wild. So let's do something about 3 times the price. That's kind of sort of close to power, not really that close to power, but this is the Makita XGT, the GDT-01, one of the best impact drivers, in my opinion, on the market for what it's worth. Now, this thing in a kit, about 3 times the price of the Hercules. Nowhere near as affordable as the Hercules, nowhere even near the warranty of the Hercules, and nowhere near the specs of the Hercules, which is really saying something about Harbor Freight right now. That's pretty wild. So let's test out a few screws, see how they feel in the hand, and see about power. I'm going to try out some of the new Metabo bits out today, and we do have a quick connect, which is fantastic. Speed 3, of course we're at full battery as well. Let's just throw some screws in here, see how this thing performs. That is really zippy. And trigger control seems a hair delayed, a little slow on the trigger control, but other than that, I definitely like the feel of it. Not too bad at all. Let's compare that to the Makita. You can definitely tell the Makita engages the impacts a lot quicker than the Hercules. That's definite there. But the Makita's trigger is definitely feather light, really sensitive compared to the Hercules. That's probably the biggest difference I noticed between these two right off the bat. Definitely less power of the Makita, though, too. You can definitely tell really quick there. All right, let's get some larger lag bolts here. See how well those go in. Whew! That is really quick. This thing did not even feel like it was struggling in the slightest. That is really impressive there. I've got a feeling I know how all this is going to go for the Makita here. Yeah, noticeably slower on the Makita. I can definitely feel that overall. Man, it's really no contest. After just doing a couple of screws, a couple of lag bolts, the Hercules by far is the better impact driver when it comes to just raw power. That is so fast on those lag bolts. That is crazy how much power this thing puts out. That is awesome. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it's bogging down. It just goes. That thing is so awesome. Oh man, it's just lightning in there. It is so, I mean, it's like as fast as you can blink, this thing will put the screw in. It's crazy. Almost like it's too fast. That is so awesome. Lightning quick there. All right, guys, let's talk the Hercules 20-volt impact driver. This thing, man, in review, wow, this thing is lightning fast, super affordable, 5-year warranty, and I would argue it's one of the best warranties, if not the best warranty currently right now in the tool market, because it's not a repair warranty. No. You break this thing, you take it back within 5 years, you grab a new one off the shelf. It's that simple. It's so awesome of a warranty there. Their batteries are cheap. Great warranty on the batteries too. I think it's 3 years on the batteries, 2 years on the charge, I think it is. And yeah, that's just incredible how much this thing is, just tons of power. It doesn't feel too heavy in the hand at all too. I'm surprised. I thought this was going to be heavier in person. It's really not. I mean, it's comparable to the Makita. It doesn't really feel lighter or heavier than the Makita. It's a little bit taller than the Makita, that's for sure. Just a hair taller. What about length here? About the same. Really, I'm not really seeing a big difference in length at all. But man, I mean, the tri-LEDs on the front, fantastic. Is there anything I don't like about this thing? Not really. I mean, it's pretty rare when I review a tool like this and there's something I don't like about this, or I can't find something I don't like about this tool. I mean, it's got nice modes here. It's got an automatic, that bolt removal mode, which of course, when it senses the bolt is loose or the screw is loose, it'll stop for you, which is awesome. That's always a nice feature to have. I mean, this thing is quick, to be able to change the modes. I mean, what more can you ask for? The thing is affordable. It's got an insane amount of power. It's got a great warranty. There you go. I mean, yeah, this thing, probably one of the best impact drivers I reviewed. Now we're in January 2025, but this is definitely the best one I reviewed all year at this point. This thing is definitely going to be hard to top at the price point, the power point, and of course, the overall warranty point as well, too. So, man, got to give it to Hercules here. Phenomenal impact driver, and especially when you can pick up really cheap like this, absolutely incredible value there. So, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day, and stay safe out there.